up, and she was already doing gigs, and we played together in Vegas. But I love the fact that like I would get on Twitch and she'd have like 1,700 people watching her and DJing, and I was like, damn, like that's hot. Like as a DJ over here, I'm DJing and I'm getting like 180 people, and she's like, so it's dope to see like some DJs just break out the box and.
Okay, check 1, 2, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 2 of the It's Always Something podcast. My name is JD. You can find the podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms right now. The iHeartRadio app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all that good stuff. Just search It's Always Something. And of course, the show is produced by Big Night Media. Rate, subscribe, share, leave a review or comment. Would greatly appreciate the support. And today, special guest, first guest ever on the pod. He's the guinea pig. Ladies and gentlemen, how fitting on a day that we record this, that the Lakers and Celtics are playing, of course. He has some of the biggest residencies in the country, from Vegas to Miami to here in Boston. He's DJed all over the world. You've probably made some of your biggest life mistakes after one of his club nights because the vibe was so good. He's a taco extraordinaire, a tequila tycoon. Ooh, it's DJ Vice, ladies and gentlemen. Hey.
I like that. That tequila tycoon. That's hot. I like that. I'm gonna run with that.
You like that? And
I'll send you publishing.
And we have your charcuterie board here. Everybody who's watching on YouTube, and then of course we'll put it up separately. We got some tacos from Tanoke in Medford, which I saw was number 1 when it came to tacos. And of course, I only do that because I know someone's gonna be like, "You didn't go here for tacos. These are the best tacos." And then
was it in the hood though? Was it in the hood?
I did trust the location. I will tell you that. Yeah.
If it's in a rough spot, and if they close early, that's even better. When you have a taco spot that closes like before the sun goes down, they're legit because they know they're in the hood. They got to get out.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I know they have some food trucks too, so maybe they take that out at night. But I am sad because I did order some horchata. So I have a taco asada, which carne, obviously. Okay. Help me, I'm white here. Taco polo. I got beef tongue.
Polo, you said? You got polo?
Yeah, I got polo.
Polo de Don. You got polo de Don.
I got one taco legua.
Okay, Laguna, it's lengua. It's lengua. It's a little bit of tongue. That's tongue.
That's the fuck up, man. We got Jesse in here who's laughing because I can't pronounce shit. And then I got some chips and stuff. But yeah, the horchata I left at the restaurant on accident. So I love that word, horchata.
It's all good. It's all good, dude. It's nice to be the guinea pig on this show. It's good to know that I'm episode number 2 because I kind of got hurt off that. You said episode number 2, and I was like, bro, I thought I was the first episode, and you're like, no, you're the first guest. And I was like, all right, I'm cool with that.
Well, the first episode was just an intro, so you are technically episode 1, because if no one gives a shit about me, then yes, you're episode 1.
All right, well, it's always something, right?
Yeah. And so I'm gonna come out the gate swinging here. Have you ever been called a shitty DJ? Like, when was the last time someone called you a shitty DJ and it hurt your feelings?
Woo! It actually happened not too long ago. It happened maybe, I'm gonna go with 4 years ago. 4 years ago. It was a good friend of mine, and I was guest DJing at his really small, intimate wedding, and it was only about, I'm gonna say like 60 people at this little reception, right? Not a lot. That's not a lot for a wedding reception, right? 60 people were out in Portland, Oregon, and they already had a DJ, but they were like, yo, can you guest DJ and just jump on and DJ? And the guy had, he had Serato, so he had everything I needed. So I get on and I start DJing, and I'm using his laptop. So I'm using his music. And this girl comes up to me and she goes, hey, she's drunk, first of all. And I don't really know all his other friends. So
it's a wedding.
She's a wedding. She's wasted, right? Yeah. She is wasted. And she's like, spitting and everything, pre-COVID, spitting all over me and shit. Like, and then she's like, play plug walk. And I'm like, what? And she's like, play plug walk. And I'm like, and I don't know what she's saying, but she's basically telling me to play plug walk. But the song had just come out like that week, and I didn't know it. I honestly didn't know what that song was. So if a drunk girl at a wedding saying play plug walk, I'm like, what language are you speaking right now, girl? So she kept coming up to me 3 times, play plug walk. And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, what the fuck is pug walk? Pug walk? Like you're like a dog? Are you walking a pug or what? And she's like, plug walk. And I'm like, what the? So anyhow, she finally tells, what do drunk girls do if they can't get what they want? They go and tell their other girlfriend, who might be even more drunk, to come up. And she goes, you're not playing our song. We're here for your friend's wedding too. Play plug walk. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck plug walk is. What is that? And I go, what? And I'm like, do you know the artist or anything? Because it just came out. She goes, no, it's just plug walk. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So by the way, my friend, my friend is, same age as me. So I'm playing all the throwback BBD, Bell Biv DeVoy Poison. I'm playing, Chub Rock.
All the stupid fucking wedding songs. I hate wedding songs so much. I get it.
Classic hip hop shit. Finally, this girl comes back and she goes, you're the worst DJ. She goes, you're terrible. She goes, you're playing old people music. She's like, don't ever be a DJ. You shouldn't be a DJ. And I was like, what? And she walks away. Not kidding you, like 3 minutes later, she slips and she's on the middle of the dance floor laid out. Like
this doesn't count, Vice, because I'm trying to did that hurt your feelings? But did that hurt your feelings that you didn't know the song, or did it hurt your feelings that she called you a shitty DJ? Because you've DJ'd enough around drunk people to not be hurt by what they're gonna tell you.
But it was emotionally scarring when she was like, you play old people music. And I was like,
I love that. She's not wrong too. She wasn't wrong. You were playing the old shit.
I was like literally in the middle of playing like Bell Biv DeVoe Poison. And you're playing old people.
That's
music,
a sin though, because I rock with that record. Super tough.
I do too. So I've been called a shitty DJ about 4 years ago.
That's good to know.
It happens.
I'm sure a lot of DJs tuning in feel good about that. I do want to start off also with a compliment, because I'm sure I speak for a lot of people, when DJ Vice comes to your town and you have the opportunity to go, like, whether it's to dinner or you see him at the club or whatever, I'll speak for myself personally. Whenever I've gone to Vegas, you guys have always taken care of me. When really you could just tell me to fuck off. Like when I'm in Vegas and I text like JJ or something, or you could just tell me to fuck off. And it's like, dude, I'm playing these huge Vegas spots. I'm doing my thing. Whatever. And, I've been fortunate enough, we've had some great conversations, about music, not about music, about life and stuff like that. So I speak on behalf of all of those people by just saying thank you, for the hospitality. Where do you get that gene from? Do you get that from a family member, or just years of networking? Where do you get that from?
Good question, bro. Good question. Because I've always, I grew up as a DJ. I've been DJing since I was 12 years old. So I always was at house parties and weddings and quinceañeras and bar mitzvah, anything you could think of, all the worst parties you could think of, I DJ'd them. But I was always used to everybody coming up to me, asking me for requests. I was always a crowd pleaser from a young age. So I'm used to everybody coming up. I'll have conversations with you while I'm DJing at Marquee or even at the Grand or at any of these venues, and I'm having a conversation with you while I'm DJing. I'm like, yo, so anyway, and I'm like, I'll be right back. Let me turn around and play a record.
But you've done it enough, right? You've done it enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's second nature. So I think definitely I enjoy the energy off of everybody and feeding and taking shots with everybody. And I'm not that DJ that just likes to play for myself and just be in my own little world. I'm trying to party with everybody, Right. Sometimes I party too much.
Yeah, well, I commend you on it, because I think, not a lot of people, especially the traveling DJs, are, they keep those relationships. And to be honest, there's an authenticity there that I think people gravitate to. So I think that's a testament to you and, how you were brought up.
Appreciate that, Mom and Dad. Thank you.
So I want to go into the DJ part here first, and then we'll kind of just get into the personal side of you, because I think a lot of people know the DJ side of DJ Vice, but I just have a couple personal questions that I wanted to get to. This first part is a two-parter. What is the most DJ Vice night ever? I'm talking about some legendary shit that and the second part of the question is it different? Would it be different from a night that's DJ Vice, personal to you, versus one that's a personal to the general public?
Yeah, yeah. Are you talking about like the
So like the
big
most
night
DJ
of?
Vice night ever, Rihanna's over here,
Oh yeah, here it
someone's
goes. Here
over
it goes.
here, like one of
Here it
those
goes.
type things.
It
Yeah.
was it was definitely, and I have the audio of it, which is wild. I'm so lucky I recorded the audio of it this night. But I was DJing in Vegas at Tao, and it was one of their anniversary nights early into the Tao game. Tao in Vegas opened in 2005, so this is maybe 2010, maybe somewhere right around there. And they're like, "Yo, we're gonna have a lot of celebs tonight. We're not exactly sure who, but just be ready, be on deck, bro." It was a wild night. I DJ'd, and the microphone was being passed between Diddy, Jay Z, Usher, Jermaine Dupri, um, Jeezy, and Floyd Mayweather. And the mic was just flying around back and forth. So I'm just playing song after song after song, and I have the whole night recorded. And they're like, "Yo, Vice, cut this. Like, go to this right." So I'm playing everything, bro. But it was just a night where it was like hip hop royalty
Mm.
inside that room, and I got to control the music and control the soundtrack of that night. And I have it on audio. I recorded the whole night. So
That's crazy.
it
Have
was a
you
moment.
told that story to everybody? Like, have you released that audio ever before, or
No,
the
I've never
visuals?
released that audio. Do you need it? I got you. I'll send it to you.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Got you, bro. It was a
Yes.
wild night,
Because
dude. It was a wild.
that's the only way people I think are gonna believe you. Because that sounds
Yeah.
insane. So I guess the second part, the part two to that question is that a signature DJ Vice? Like, does that bring you this overwhelming thing? Because it could be somewhere else that you found this like intense amount of joy, and that was like DJ Vice night. You know what I mean?
A night that was really dope to me of being out, and it's kind of like a whole different spectrum. So I was in, it's a lot of these nights are Vegas when the celebs come out. So I'm DJing, and one of my boys, is on stage with me. He's just hanging with me, and I'm like, "Wow, bro, look at that down there on the table on the right hand corner." I go, "You see that dude in the white jacket, a sports coat?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, that's Dave Grohl from
Mm,
the Foo Fighters."
mm.
And my friend's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Dude, Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters, like Nirvana's drummer. Like that's like, dude, rock royalty right there. Dude, he fucking plays drums on Smells Like Teen Spirit." And he's like, "Bro, I don't know who he is. Should he be up here?" And I'm like, I don't, dude, I don't know. He's down there with his like, it looks like his wife and his crew, and he's like,
Jesus is in the corner, dude. He's wearing a white
dude,
coat.
rock royalty. It's
Yeah,
dope
yeah.
because you don't see someone like that at a Vegas mega nightclub. Like they don't go like those rocks. So my friend's like, "I'll be right back," and he just jumps off stage, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And he's down there talking to him, and I see him all in Dave Grohl's ear, and then Dave Grohl starts walking up with him to the stage. So now Dave Grohl walks in. He's like, "Hey, what's up, man? I'm Dave," and I'm like, "Oh, what's up? I'm Vice." And he's like, "Yo, man, this party's fun." And I'm like, "Cool." I'm like, "Yo, I mean, you've rocked arenas, like you rocked hundreds of thousands of people, like." And he's like, "No, this is so different, man. I'm here with my wife." And I was like, "Hold on, bro. Cut the music." I'm like, "Dave Grohl," and I did a whole intro for him, and he's like, his eyes lit up, and he was like, "Yeah." And he has his hands in the air, and he's looking out. His wife was there. He's looking down at his wife, and all of them are like pumped for him. And he was the happiest dude getting a shout out in a nightclub. And I dropped Teen Spirit, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Nirvana, and it went off. And so he's like, "Bro," he's like, he didn't say bro, but he's like, "Man, you just made me look so cool in here. Thanks, man." And we have a really good picture of us hugging it out on stage. So it was cool to do something like that for a celeb
Mm.
and rock royalty that is still actually excited about like of being in a moment like that in a mega nightclub, dude.
I'm surprised by that because you don't. Maybe that was back in a day where you weren't playing, or when people weren't playing like a Smells Like Teen Spirit as much. Because I feel like in an open format, that's kind of a regular record you can play. So I bet, was it during a time where like that you weren't really,
No,
a lot
this
of
is
people
like
weren't
10
really
years
playing that
ago.
shit? Oh, okay, word.
Nah, you could. It's just that he had never been in a mega nightclub. He's never been in a Vegas mega nightclub.
Got you.
Heard a I guess like a generic nightclub crowd, a VIP service nightclub crowd going off to a rock record after just hearing Jay-Z and like a Swedish House Mafia record or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
how
yeah.
did my record fit? How did this record? It worked. So but just to give like everybody those moments. It doesn't even have to be a celeb, but I've gotten messages where someone's like, "Yo, man, you DJ'd my bachelor party. It was the best night. You shouted me out, and I'm headed back to see you play again for my divorce party."
Oh, jeez. Yeah, of course. It's always something. For
So
sure.
I mean, yeah, it's always something, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm happy to celebrate with you again. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are. You're just some dude on Instagram. But yeah, roll through, man.
All right, so there's a lot of people that are tuning in who aren't familiar with the DJ space at all.
Hmm.
I'm trying to kind of give people a little bit behind the scenes look. How would you describe to a person who's not familiar with the ins and outs of like what you do at a very high level in preparation for one of these like really big gigs?
Yeah, that's a good question because a lot of people still to this day think DJing is like so easy, and it is now because there's a lot of advancements in the sense of like being able to sync your BPMs. You don't have to know how to keep things on beat.
Mm.
Yeah, very, very technically it can get easy. But the preparation, like what you're saying, is the actual musical knowledge of what to play, when to play it, and how to play it. So a lot of my prep time for all these shows goes into, being current with music, at the same time being knowledgeable of what songs to play, when to play them, and like what parts of songs. Like there's certain songs where I might just play the second verse of a song because that has the legendary line that everyone in the crowd can
Luda's
sing
version of
along to.
Luda's
Right,
yeah.
exactly. Or you might just go to the yeah, exactly, Little John's the hook into going into Luda's
Right,
verse, and then you're
right,
out. Right,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Great example. But on top of that, literally it's really, a very kind of like demanding job in the sense of like travel. If you're at that point of being a DJ where you're traveling night after night, going out and DJing late nights, early flights, went pre-pandemic, and we're about to be back. But it's really just a lot of keeping your brand relevant because a lot of DJs can come and go, as we've seen. So a lot of marketing, a lot of promotions. You can't just be that DJ that shows up and be the old mad DJ that's like, I'm gonna play, keep it real. I'm gonna play what I want to play, and like, whatever with this crowd, they should like what I want. Like that mentality is out the window, bro. Like I've never had that. I've always gone in and kept the crowd happy and kept them hype, and I think that's why I'm still here today.
For sure, for sure. What is the biggest flop song you've ever played at the like worst
Oh,
possible time?
flop song. I am gonna let me take a drink with us.
Yeah. And I think it's really dope when DJs take risks, you know what I mean? I've done it a million times and I'm not anywhere close to you, but I've had those feelings. So it's like what record at the worst possible time? Like I wonder if you played a record for someone and almost like in the situation where if Drake and Meek Mill, or if Meek Mill was in the club and then you played
This is
yeah.
Yeah, this is some West Coast shit right here. And this is gonna date me as well. But Ice Cube was in the club in Vegas one night, and so was DJ Pooh. And DJ Pooh wrote the movie Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
DJ Pooh wrote Friday and Next Friday and Cube and they're boys. So I haven't seen DJ Pooh in a nightclub in a while, and I don't know him, but I don't even know Cube. And Cube's in the club, and I'm like, there's a record that DJ Pooh put out way back called Whoop Whoop. Where on my west side riders at? Whoop Whoop. Where on my east side riders at? Whoop Whoop.
Is that where that came from? That soundbite, the woo woo? Well, no, that was from a viral video in Oakland. Sorry.
So it's a DJ Pooh record.
Yeah, okay.
It's all about whoop. And I used to play it on radio when I was younger, and I was like, that song's so hard. It's so dope, right? So I play it in the club. Like I throw it in, and it's like, and he's going on, and it's this guy Cam rapping on it. It's DJ Pooh producer Cam's rapping on it.
Okay.
So I look at Pooh and I'm trying to get like the reaction, like, damn, I dropped your record, like, and I just see everybody in the whole entourage with Cube and Pooh, and they're looking at me like, we're gonna kill you, like they're all, and I'm like, why are they giving me that death stare, right? And then I see Cube, and like that Cube Ice Cube look where he like raises his eyebrow and looks at you, and they're all looking at me, and I'm DJing, and I'm like, what's going on, right? It's finally some dude rolls up, he's like, yo, pull this record off right now. And I'm like, bro, Pooh's here. Like, I'm playing for Pooh. He goes, this is a diss record against Cube. And I go, it is? And he goes,
and you didn't know? You didn't know that at all?
I never knew that. I never knew that record. It was my hip hop fail in life. I never knew that record. I used to play it on radio. It was a West Coast record. And, I never knew that it was a record dissing the shit out of Ice Cube. but Pooh and him are cool now. It's kind of like a Drake and
Meek
Meek
Mill, yeah,
situation.
during that
It's a
time
West
period, yeah,
Coast.
yeah.
It's a West Coast history. They had beef, and it was a diss record to Cube. So I'm playing it as Pooh is next to Cube. Like, probably sorry, bro. Sorry for making this record, and sorry. For,
That's so
so yeah,
interesting.
so
So there was there any bad blood between them at that time when they were in the club?
no, because they it was like an old school record. This was only like 8 years ago when this
Oh,
happened.
okay, got
So
you,
that
got you,
record's like from
got
like
you.
late '90s. It's like a late '90s hip hop record, and I thought I was being the cool DJ, like dropping it in, like I was gonna get like street cred,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
yo, Vice dropped that
yeah,
Pooh record, that's
yeah.
hot, like except backfired, bro. I thought Cube was gonna like go at it
It's
with me,
just
but
shitting on
he
him
just
right
gave.
there.
Yeah. He gave me the evil eye though, bro. I felt like I was in a movie with him.
I guess my follow up to that is because I feel like you'd kind of see Cube. I mean, just being at all the places there you're at. Have you ever shared that story with him?
I haven't, bro.
Oh,
I
you
haven't
got to.
not.
You
But when
got
I
to.
see him, when I see this guy next time,
Yeah.
I'm gonna apologize. I'm like, you, bro. Like I grew up on your music. I apologize.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
You're alive, man. That's what's most important.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
want so Vice has dropped a ton of awesome music, and I wanted to ask you. You know, there's been two really uncomfortable times in my life when I've interviewed someone that I felt like I really didn't deserve to be in the same room. One of them was DJ Premier. I understood the significance of it, but I am not well versed to give to do a DJ Premier interview to someone who's really trying to get some knowledge out, right? Like I felt
Yeah.
super out of pocket. He was like promoting some record that he had with Miguel. This was
wow.
like a few years back. But I felt so, even the moment I got the call that I was going to be interviewing him, I was like, fuck, dude, I'm screwed. Like my homies who love hip hop are going to see the picture I'm going to throw up and they're going to be like, you, sir, are full of shit. So, and that was one. And then the other was Laid Back Luke. And, you know, Laid Back Luke
wow.
is such a G, right? And so I was also put on game to how, you know, important he was to the culture and shit. And the reason why I bring up Laid Back Luke is because when I asked him, you know, like, what is there left for you to accomplish? You know, I know you're like, you're a staple in the game, right? And he goes, I want a big, fat, juicy chain smokers hit. He goes, I want this. And with all this success that this dude has had of selling out all these places, I was really surprised by that, right?
Agree.
So is having like not saying that the singles were big, but do you know what I'm saying? Like when he said a
like a
big,
top
fat,
charting
juicy chain smokers, roses, closer hit, is having like a big single important to DJ Vice?
Oh, 100%, bro. Yes, it's been in my, like my manifestation notebook that it's like, it's definitely after, or like like a Talkie Talkie by Snake, as a
Right.
DJ, that's a dope record. Like that's a high, or a Turn Down for What, I give up props to Snake, dude. He's like the DJ that has those smash records, So as a DJ, yes, it's definitely a goal of mine still to get a top, I'm gonna say at least a top 5 charting, song that is a anthem that you can go out and play. But my vibe would have to be more like feel good, upbeat, happy. Everybody's fucking loving the vibe, that kind of shit. Like, what a good record example for that would be? Like Martin Solveig, Hello. Remember when that record
To
came
say
out?
hello, hard in the paint. Yeah, right,
Hello,
right, right,
It's
right.
like such a feel good record and anthem and can be played at any festival still. That's a Vice style record.
Perfect. Okay, good. I think that's a great answer. All right, we're going to do a segment right now, and it's going to be called Can You Put My Question on the List? These are questions from DJs, from the DJ community to DJ Vice. And we'll just kind of do semi-rapid fire here. Organizing music, with there being so much available music, remixes, blends, records from TikTok. I actually really love this question. What is the best way you've simplified your crates, or especially if talking to someone who hasn't really DJ'd in a long time or within the last year, what is the best way you think to organize your crates?
So I was up till 3 a.m. last night. I'm running on like 5 hours sleep because of this exact situation. I was organizing crates last night because I'm about to really be back on the road and start doing shows. So my simplified way that I've been working out, I thought of now doing like crates by years. So I was doing like 2000 2010 to 2015 hits, and I was just going through Spotify playlists of those eras and looking at songs. I'm like, oh, I like that. Let me go. I like that song. Then I would look at my Serato and throw it in there. So I was doing like eras of hits. So I think that it's kind of like a vibe to that was for me. And I'm doing Serato crates. I use, if you want to get technical, I'm making all my crates in Serato and doing eras and also doing moods. Like I was making a strip club crate last night. I don't play at strip clubs, but there might be a moment in the club you want to make everyone feel like they're in a strip club. So I made a crate full of like strip club vibe songs, you know? So I do genres. I don't do genre. I do moods and also like year blocks, like 2010, 2005, 2015, 2020, something like that.
My head hurts.
Yeah, it's a lot, dude. It's never ending.
Right.
I'll never finish my iTunes.
It's one of those things that I think people who don't know DJing, it's like you never, dude. I have no idea what I'm going to play when I start DJing again. I'm like so sensory overload. I'm so overwhelmed. All right, question number 2. Do you update your computer, or are you one of those people that just says remind me tomorrow?
Oh, every day.
All right, dope. Okay, we'll just leave it at that.
Update your computer. Do not update your computer.
Your favorite bootleg or edit to play in the club, or can't wait to play in the club?
Oh, my favorite edit or bootleg is actually one that I made with DJ Echo and my boys Eric Deluxe and Syph, and we made this shit years ago, and it is a party break classic. It starts with a record stopping, get your damn hands up, and it goes into the 50 Cent in the club.
That's your guys' edit?
Yeah, we made that at my house when 50 Cent in the club came out.
Gosh, dude, that must have been so.
And I made that on an MPC, like a beat machine, and we made it all in that, and then dumped it into Pro Tools. And we pressed it on vinyl. It was a record called Buko Breaks, and we made that however long ago 50 Cent in the club came out. So today, to this day, still playing that gets me pumped.
Okay, well then I guess this is my follow-up. What is the song you think you've played the most?
Oh, dude, that I've in a next episode, Dre and Snoop.
Hard, and because no matter where you've been, like any kind of environment, that song.
Who smokes weed? Play it.
Do you just play the Nate Dogg part of it?
Oh yeah, I used to be Nate Dogg's tour DJ.
That's right.
I was Nate Dogg's tour DJ for like a couple of years. I have some Nate Dogg stories.
I was gonna say, dude, do you want to share one that like you haven't shared?
One that was super dope. Yeah, one that was super dope was when I first went to his house ever to work on his show, like his live show. I got there. I was with my boy DJ Echo, and we got to his house, and his girlfriend at the time let us in. She was an actress. I forgot. I recognized her right when she was at the door. I was like, oh, I know who you are. She comes over. She's like, oh yeah, Nate's just recording right now. Just go over there and kick it. Like he's in the room recording. And she opened the door. We walked in there, and Nate was like, what up? And he's sitting and he's literally like him and just one engineer. And we're at his crib, and he's sitting down with a bowl of chicken and rice with headphones on and a microphone. And I'm sitting on the couch, and he was cutting a hook, sitting down and taking taking bites of his chicken and rice, and then getting back into Nate Dogg mode and cutting the hook, bro.
Yeah.
So it was dope, and I got to do some live shows with him, like in LA.
What song was it? Do you know what song he was?
I don't even remember.
Okay, all right, word.
I wish I would have known. Yeah, dude. Man, rest in peace, Nate Dogg.
That's it. Oh, for sure. The craziest thing you've seen in the booth.
Oh, okay, I saw
cocaine for sure.
Yeah,
that's a given.
Yeah. Well, one time, this is wild. One time, by the way, it's always in Vegas, huh? The wildest shit happens in Vegas.
Yeah, of course, dude. That's where you you get to actually have an alter ego in Vegas.
My first residency was at a nightclub called Body English at the Hard Rock Hotel. I'm DJing, and that's where DJ AM had a residency there. And our DJ booth was on the second story of the nightclub because there's a lower level and an upper level, but we can see down to the pit of where everyone's dancing. There's tables all along the edges on the second floor. I saw a guy partying on the edge, and I could tell how drunk he was. He was right up against the edge partying, and I just saw him go. He just went. He was gone. He flipped over and fell down a story of the nightclub, landed on his back, and I was like, he's dead. Right? And I'm looking,
and you saw it in slow motion this whole time.
I saw this whole thing, and and I'm like, oh shit, he just fell off the second story. I look down, he's on the floor. He gets up, starts partying, and he's jumping up and down and dancing. Then he goes to the dance floor and he's dancing. And I was like, dude, I just saw someone come back to life. Just died and came back to
Like,
life. Like right
like
now.
from the Undertaker. Like, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, dude. It was just a wild moment to see someone almost die and come back to life. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, so
And
yeah.
party and they didn't shake it off. They partied it off. For sure.
Gosh, dude, that, and I already like see that happening like in
Happening.
slow
Yeah.
motion.
Well, his legs. I saw his legs go in the air, and I was like, and he was just going head dive down, and I guess he twisted and landed on his back.
Yeah, I mean,
Ate it.
everything that everything, if you're just thinking about what's happened in a DJ booth, just the answer is yes, it's happened.
Yeah.
Just whatever you
Yes,
want to
it's
come up
happened.
with, yes, it's happened. All right. And the last question is, what do you think the most common thing is going to be said on the mic from DJs? Because I came up with one yesterday that was like, yo, if you got the Johnson & Johnson and survived, put your fucking hands up.
And hands off.
If you survive the J&J, you know, like, what do you think the most
exactly.
common, what do you think the most common DJ thing is going to be said on the mic?
Well, I will say this. I have finally went out for 2 gigs in real life, and that is the question that you get asked the most being in a club. Yo, are you vaccinated? Which one did you get?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like,
I'm talking about when you're on the mic, dog. Like,
but
you know,
on the
what are you?
mic,
Yeah, what do you think
but
DJs are gonna be saying?
but on the mic, I definitely said something dumb one of the first nights. I was like, yo, I think I said, I've been locked up for over a year. I'm finally out this bitch. Let's get drunk. And I was like, damn, it might kind of sound like I was in jail.
Someone who's actually locked up is hella offended in the club from DJ Vice. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I've been locked up over a year. We out this bitch.
Yeah.
But I said something like that. I think a DJ is gonna mess up and be like on the mic, like run the chat, because I would say that on Twitch, like run the chat room. You know, like you might say run the chat. But I definitely did that dumbass move with saying I've been locked up for a year.
All my Pfizer fatties, what up, though?
Yeah.
All my Moderna mommies. You know, yeah.
Mommies.
Yeah. Oh, dog. I was just
Yeah.
like, I could have a million sayings, right? Like, I feel like I could come up with a million right now.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. Dude.
All right, man.
Easily.
So we got DJ Vice here. Just encouraging everybody once again to rate, like, subscribe the podcast. Really appreciate it. And so a lot of people don't know DJ Vice. They don't know Eric. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go into these real quick because so yesterday, or when I recorded my first podcast, I said that I didn't feel like I needed the break. I appreciated the break. So when the pandemic started, do you feel like you felt the same way? Like, you know, because all your gigs were gone, dude. Vegas shut down. All of these, like, you know, primetime gigs that you deserve to have. You know, do you feel like you appreciated the break?
Yeah, you know, of course, like everybody, no one had any idea how long the break would be. But halfway through, like 6 months in, I was like, yo, I needed this. This is good for me. I have never stopped. I've been going since I was a kid, and I've been traveling and doing all this. Like there was never a vacation like break. And I remember like when I started like getting into the shoe game, and I owned a shoe store and all this, and learned a lot of the people that worked in Nike and had been there for 10 years. I remember talking to one of them, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm going on my sabbatical. And I was like, sabbatical? What's that? And this is not too long ago. I was like, what's a sabbatical? And he's like, oh, it's like I get a 6-month break from work to like get my head right and get everything. And I'm like, who gets a 6-month break from work? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I get to take my sabbatical. I'm 10 years in. I go, bro, I'm 20 plus years in DJing, and I've never taken a month off. So I looked at it like, oh, this is my sabbatical. Like this is for me to like get my head right, you know, re-energize myself, health, you know, mental, and just kind of do everything like that. And it literally was a year sabbatical. So I looked at it like, you know, I'm 20 plus years of DJing. So I was like, all right, 6 months for the first 10 years, another 6 months for the next 10 years.
However you wanted to justify it in your head, right?
Yeah, I was like, I deserve this break. So it was definitely needed, bro. And I also looked at it like it cleared the playing field again. It got everybody on a reset mode. We're back to ground zero, and it's go time again. So
you really feel that way though, dog? Like, you know, let me actually ask you this, because I wanted to ask you on the previous segment. Do you have a Twitch DJ that you want to shout out?
A Twitch DJ?
Yeah, someone that you fucked with like super tough because of their, you know, visuals or
No, I got to shout out my girl Angie V. She's a West Coast DJ out here, and I love the fact that like she blew up, and she was already doing gigs, and we played together in Vegas. But I love the fact that like I would get on Twitch and she'd have like 1,700 people watching her and DJing, and I was like, damn, like that's hot. Like as a DJ over here, I'm DJing and I'm getting like 180 people, and she's like, so it's dope to see like some DJs just break out the box and blow the fuck up like in a whole new world. So and then it's translating into gigs now. So big up Angie V. DJ
Angie
V, if you're
V,
not
what's
following.
up? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I've met her in Vegas. She's opened up for you before, right?
She's opened up for me, yeah. Really
Yeah,
dope
yeah,
DJ.
yeah, yeah. She was super cool people. Shout out to her then, man. I fuck with that. The people that have just, upgraded their hustle, showing their personality, and
Yeah.
Twitch has been such a unique space for DJs. All right, so I guess what is the side hustle been for Vice? Like what do people know? What do people not know that you do? Do you like pottery or gardening or like axe throwing or some shit? Like what'd you fall in love with during the pandemic?
Dude, it's so embarrassing. I became so domesticated, bro.
Mm.
I've been like, I get excited to go to Costco. I
Don't
get
we all,
excited.
dog? Don't we all?
I,
Kirkland gang?
yes, bro. I mean, you and me have that same thing. Like, well, you a boss? You a CEO? You got this card? I got the card, bro. I went to Costco today before this podcast. I bought a rug, toothbrush heads, honey, coconut water, and a bottle of tequila. About 5 things. They all don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Nothing
Right. And you
correlates
can't.
together.
And how many trips did it take you to get them all up? We got to figure out some
Yeah.
kind of system there because when you leave
So
from Costco, you can't do it in one trip.
Yo, dude, I literally am a very domestic. I think it felt. I brought this up to a couple people. It felt as close as it could be as going to a warehouse rave during the pandemic. I'd go inside there, motherfucker would be packed. People would be all over the place. You know what I mean? It'd feel like there was like an aisle that had a ladder, a masking tape, a hard drive, and it had like soap. And I'm like, yo, this is wild. Like, there's just some different shit here. And I hadn't been going to Costco since like I was a kid, or it was called something else then. But it was, that's definitely something that I fell in love with during the pandemic.
Yo, first DJ to get a Costco endorsement wins straight up.
I'm gonna get. You know what? Challenge me, bro. I'm gonna get that,
Bro.
I'm gonna get that.
If you got, how like people have gotten, like a golden Chipotle card or something like that. If you got like the, where if no one was allowed, or like you get a free hot dog, like show me something that has you stunting at Costco. That's a challenge for you.
Okay. All right, I'm in. I'm gonna work on that because I'm a big fan of their tequila. They're actually Kirkland brand tequila.
Gross. How would people who don't give two shits that you're a DJ describe you?
Oh, if they don't give 2 shits, I'm a DJ. I'm a very, very humble brag with it. Generous, kind, humble, giving, as well as fucking fun. Anyone that comes out with me, even if I'm not DJing, we're gonna have a good time. That's it. Like, hands down. It doesn't matter if there's 5 people around us or 5,000. Like, we're gonna have a blast.
See, and that carries over into what you do, bro. So I mean, you got some real ones around you. What kind of dad is DJ Vice? You got your son who's 22, and then your daughter who's younger, which I feel like is going to be an advantage to you. I'll ask you the question first, and then the follow up of what kind of dad is DJ Vice?
Devoted, definitely hands on. I like, I put me and my wife rotate putting our daughter to bed. At the same time, I'm taking shots with my son. So I have like, I just did my first gig in Miami, and I brought my son with me. So I was like, yo, like I'm back. Like I got my first gig, and he's like, can I go? I was like, I want you to go. Like, so we went father and son to the first gig back. That's the kind of shit.
Wow.
That's how I roll.
Have you been waiting for that? Honestly, like low key in your soul, have you been waiting for that?
Yeah, we've done Vegas already, and he hadn't been to Miami with me since he was 10 years old.
But does he really get to do Vegas? Like, I'm talking like, there's a different. Vegas you're superhuman in Vegas. So has he been able to be a superhuman?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we did his 21st birthday big, pre-pandemic. So it was big dinner, on stage presentations, bottles. The waitresses had his name and everything. And I was like,
the works.
Wild, bro.
The works.
It's wild. This little guy used to be up in the room, like eating like pancakes and watching Clifford the Big Red Dog when I would be DJing in these rooms.
Try and hate on Clifford, man. I'm not going to allow it on this podcast. Huh?
Clifford's a G. Clifford is a G. I now watch Clifford the Big Red Dog with my daughter.
I mean, it's just all in the family now, bro.
Yeah. And then my daughter, my son's name is DJ, by the way. I had to do that. His name is DJ.
That's a pretty selfish move, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. That I know, right? And with the daughter, it's girl dad. I didn't understand that until now
Mm,
I'm a girl dad, and I
mm.
definitely get it. I made fairy potion the other day with her.
Good for you. What's in fairy
Yeah,
potion?
a lot of glitter shit stuck to my fingernails and under everywhere and all the floor and all that. But you know what I mean? At least I made the fairy potion with her.
And none of your kids, like especially when she gets older, she's not gonna be able to fool you. Like when it comes to like the club situations, like you got all the 101s. You might as well just tell
I got the
her,
one.
like listen, it's
I got.
just you're not getting past me.
You're not getting past. Yeah, there's no sneaking out the house. There's no, no. You're tracked.
Yeah,
Everywhere you
I'd
go,
feel
you're
way more
tracked.
comfortable just telling you what I was doing. If I was your
Yeah,
kid, I would just be like, Dad, like whatever you did in Miami, that's popping in
yeah.
like Nashville this weekend or something like that.
Right,
Right.
right, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So it says here, I'm reading that DJ Vice has gone viral for his hashtag mile a day challenge, where you write down a problem you're having in life on a post-it note and then you run 1 mile away from it. And the purpose is to promote running away from your problems. Tell me
Oh,
how that started.
I definitely don't know that part. I've never heard the run. Did you add that in there?
Yeah. I just
I love that. I love that. That's hot. I was like, is this on a Wikipedia that I
yeah,
don't know?
yeah.
That's hot.
Sounded
That's
official,
hot.
right? Sounded official.
Yeah, that's so official. Mile a day challenge actually started from my wife. My wife met someone that was doing this mile a day challenge, and she told her, "Oh yeah, I wrote a book about it." Blah blah blah. And my wife came to me and she's like, "I think I want to try this running 1 mile a day." I was like, "That's dumb. Go ahead, have fun."
Mm.
So 2 weeks in, she's running a mile a day, and I was like, "Man, I should just go run with her, spend that like 10 minutes and get some exercise." So I jumped on it. I was 2 weeks behind her, run a week, and then my competitive side, which I don't really have like a sports competitive side, but I was like, well, I'm not going to stop. Are you stopping? She's like, I'm not stopping. And 1,200 plus days later, we're still going at it. And I've learned, to have a to have a daily practice in my life. I never had a daily practice outside, maybe making your bed and brushing your teeth and going to the bathroom. But I have a daily practice that will get me out of my mind, help me just clear my head, hold me accountable. But also on top of that, like I don't meditate. I try to meditate. I just can't get into it. This is my meditation. This is me to get out there and clear my head and really just, I come up with ideas. I don't listen to music. I might listen to the news or something like that. But
Mm.
I kind of just really use it as a way to just reset myself. I might even be hungover. I ran outside the Grand. There's a video Kyle made of it running outside the Grand after drinking tequila all night and knocking out a mile.
Ugh. What's the best mile you've ever run? And in like that could be worldwide.
The best like place or speed?
Yeah,
What are you
it could
talking-
be.
what are we
It could be
talking-
you were just like, yo, this was the
Oh,
best run I've ever had.
it was. You know what? One of them was dope. Was I was like cutting it really close. Was the fact that I was running in Dubai one time. I got to Dubai and my miles have to be always within a 24-hour period. Like I will never miss it. And the time frame of traveling and getting there, and I landed and got to the hotel, I was like, I have to do it right now. Like I didn't even bring my luggage up to the room. JJ, my tour manager, kept the luggage. I was like, I'm out. And I started running down the streets of Dubai, and I had no idea where I was. And I'm like looking up at buildings, and I'm like, this is wild. Like I wouldn't have got this experience of like cutting through random streets and seeing just everything that I saw if I wouldn't do this mile a day challenge. So Dubai was definitely one of them. A runner-up second was running on the beach in Cabo after DJing a pool party, and definitely drunk, thinking that I was back at my hotel from the mile because it ended, and I wasn't. I was at the hotel next door and falling asleep on the beach chair, and security guards waking me up and being like, "You're like you got to go," and I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm at this hotel," and I'm showing them the wristband. They're like, wrong hotel. I'm like, no. And I'm trying to argue with them, like, I'm staying here. And they're like, next door. And I was like,
Plug walk.
my bad.
Plug walk. You were the plug walk.
I was the plug walk, dude. So they kicked me out and they told me to go next door, and I got back to my room.
Yo,
So I've done it all.
and speaking of travels, I actually have to commend you because a couple years ago, you, I think JJ also recommended it. I was like, yo, I'm trying to go somewhere in Europe with my fam in the wintertime. you know, like around Christmas time, because that's when a lot of people in radio, when we had jobs, took our break. You know, took a lot of breaks. And so you told me about Portugal, and so Portugal was off the chain. So I actually have to thank you and JJ.
Wait, you went?
Yeah, we went to Lisboa or Lisbon, and then we went to the Douro Valley, and we went to, oh man, it's blanking on me right now, which is Porto.
Oh, Porto.
Yeah.
Dope. That's dope, man. Because a lot of people haven't been to Portugal.
Crazy, bro. Portugal was the most slept on shit. And you told me that. You said, listen, like December, if you go to Portugal, you said, trust me. And I was like, man, dude, this is so fire. And so, you know, put people up on game, because I think obviously a lot more, like, people are going to be traveling more after the pandemic. So what's a Europe spot that, you know, is a sleeper?
Of course, everyone right now talks about Mykonos. They're like, oh, we're back. We're going to Mykonos, because it used to be Ibiza, and then now everyone, or Ibiza.
Don't call it that. Call it what you called it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone goes to Portugal, or sorry, everyone goes to Mykonos now, but Portugal's the sleeper, bro. Portugal is very very like friendly. Everyone speaks English. Everyone's super nice. You jump in the Ubers, everyone's like, hey, how you doing? And like, they want to show, they're excited to show you their country. On top of that, like, it's very it's cheap.
I was just gonna ask you, is it expensive? Yeah.
Nah, dude, it was cheap. Portugal was cheap, man. It was definitely, you know, and I keep hearing that a lot of the parties are gonna move there. It's gonna become like the hot spot.
To Portugal?
So to Portugal. I heard
word.
a lot of that, because it's a beach town, you know. There's a lot
Off
of really
the
good beaches.
chain.
I'm not a surfer, but it's a big surf spot.
Okay.
It's a very big surf spot. So yeah, I definitely would go back to Portugal in a heartbeat. The food was on point too. Food was dope.
It was,
seafood was on point.
Out of the places I've been over there, it was the tightest country I've ever been to. Like, and you know, there's plenty more on the list, but yeah,
I'm glad you took that risk without ever knowing anything.
Well, I mooched off my family, so I'm not going to say that I paid for a single dime of it. If my mom wasn't so trill with it, then there's just no way I would have gone. So,
big up Mom Dukes.
Yeah, it was super dope. All right, DJ Vice on the podcast. Appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to give you 30 seconds right now to just give me a real reel. And real is obviously spelled two different ways. That way we can throw something up on the gram. 30 seconds of advice from DJ Vice. Give me like, it could be about anything, man.
Yeah. Let's start off with the fact that whenever you meet someone, make a first impression. I remember the first time I met Suge Knight at the radio station. Everyone was like, oh, what's up, Suge? What's up, Suge? And then he was going down the road saying hi to all the DJs. And I was like, what's up? My name is Vice. What's your name? And he was like, whoa. And he gave me a side look. And I go, I'm just playing, man. I'm DJ Vice. What's up, Suge? And he smiled. He's like, man, I'm always remember you, Vice. That's dope. And he just like, you know, like.
I'd rather him not remember me. I'd rather have Suge Knight not remember me ever at all.
Coming up next, take your top bun off. Take the top bun off your sandwich, your burger, always. I learned that from LL. One time I talked to him at a radio station. I said, LL, I want to talk. I know everyone's talking to you about music, bro, but I got to ask you the real. How do I lose weight? I was an overweight DJ. I was clocking in at 210 pounds. He said, all right, don't ever eat the bread that comes out at the restaurant, and take your top bun off your bread every time you get a burger or sandwich. And I go, done deal. And I've done it ever since. Just a little little hack in life. Do that. Next one. If you have dessert, don't worry about it. Eat your dessert. It doesn't go to your stomach. It goes to your heart. I was told that by Mario Lopez.
That's just great.
That motherfucker's been in shape his whole life. So I listened to him. Dessert goes to the heart. It doesn't go to the stomach. But he also backed it up with, and break a sweat every day. So now running a mile a day challenge, I always push it, and I like make sure I open the pores and I break a sweat. That's my 30 seconds of advice.
That's that real. That's that real advice from DJ Vice. Well, I appreciate it, man. Is there anything that I'm missing that a DJ who's official like the referee whistle would be pissed off that I didn't ask you? You know, do you care about the last Serato updates? Do you care about phase DJing? Is there any shit that I'm missing here? You'd be like, dude, this guy has no fucking cool DJ questions, dude. Like nothing technical, bro.
Nothing technical.
Yeah.
Practice your scratching. No,
practice your scratching. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like for even like up and coming DJs right now, like the world's opening back up.
Mm.
This is your chance to get in the game. This is your chance to make yourself known. Like a lot of DJs had to step back and get jobs and do other shit. Like they couldn't last through the pandemic, you know? Nothing against them. It's just they had to pay the bills. So they can't, might not be able to jump out of that job that they have now and get back to the DJ world because you might have already been a little stable with your job. And you're like, I don't know if I want to risk it. This is your chance for DJs to get in and make yourself known. Don't be the undercutting DJ that's just trying to cut everybody's rate and be super cheap, but just come in with your brand, with your skills, with your music taste and everything. And this is your chance to get back into nightlife.
Dude, thank you so much. I would have been so pissed off if I didn't address this. Did I not ask you? Oh my gosh. All right, then, like, before you dip, I don't know how I didn't hit this. When it comes to DJ pay, dude, because restaurants, you know, or wherever, you know, a lot of DJs are going to be getting back in the game and stuff. What are your thoughts on if a spot says, hey, you know, we can't pay you as much as we did before. We still want you here. You have even if you have a great relationship with them, what is the advice you give to DJs as far as, do you eat it and take a little bit less money, understanding, you know, the circumstances of where we are in the world right now? Or how would you approach DJ pay?
First of all, I understand that a lot of these venues didn't make money. And I hope they understand, as DJs, we didn't make money either. So we're on the same playing field. For the venues that you have worked with, and it's been a long-standing relationship, I understand that, of taking that cut of anywhere, you know, 10, 15% and being like, yo, I'm back, I'm riding with you. Let's make this happen. But for new venues, which I've been getting a lot of new offers and them saying, hey, you know, we want to get you in, but you know, our budgets aren't right. And, you know, it's finally our time to try and get you in our venue. I'm like, nah. We never worked together before. We weren't doing business. Why am I going to go give you this deal of the century for me to just jump in your spot and help you build up your spot where there was no loyalty? So that's one thing I would say, you know, don't.
But if people aren't you, dog, like, you can do that. You know what I mean? You could put your wiener on the table and be like, hey, I'm DJ Vice. You can't fucking do that. You know what I mean? I'm talking your average, you know, great DJ in the community who just like is like, dude, I don't want to undercut, but, you know, I have to be realistic here. It's a real question. It has nothing to do with ego. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you suggest that, hey man, you know, it's kind of maybe put it on people, I guess. It's a personal decision. Right.
You gotta hold your value of, I know what you're worth. Like, it's understandable, like, that you gotta know what you're worth, you know, and also, like, I think that with being a new DJ, you just want to play somewhere. I understand that. Some DJs are like, yo, I don't even care about getting paid. I just want to play somewhere. I want to get my name out there. I want to do that, right? But you're never going to get that respect of a DJ if you just go inside, respect of even an owner of a venue. Like, I just want to play for free for you, like, or like for gas money. It's like, you're never going to be paid then. They're going to always look at you as that DJ that's coming in for nothing, you know? So, and word spreads quick, man. You do that for one person, a lot of people work at different venues, especially if, you know, if you're in a smaller town or, you know, you're just DJing your local spots. Like, dude, people ask, you had him at your venue? How much did he charge you? All right, cool. Like, I'm not paying him. Like, I'm not paying him that, you know, like, word spreads very easily and quick. So just know that when you go out and do these gigs for cheap.
Thank God, dude. Thank God you brought that up. I would hate myself if I didn't ask you that, because I think it's just such a real thing. It is just something that is going to happen once things start opening up. I think it's going to be a real conversation that needs to be had, and
it's gonna be cutthroat, bro. I understand
for sure.
Too. People didn't make money for over a year. So it's you're out there to make your ends, to, you know, to pay the bill. So I get it. It's a tough situation to be in.
A lot of DJs had a go. What's up?
No, another thing too is save your money, dude.
For sure.
A lot of people that were flexing on the gram pre-pandemic with Off-White and Chrome Hearts and all this, and they stopped posting all that stuff.
Whoopsie.
That was interesting.
Whoopsie. A lot of real estate agents now. DJ Vice, give out your handles, dude. We appreciate you coming on the It's Always Something podcast, first episode. Go ahead, bro.
At DJ Vice. I got lucky enough to get it on my, you know, my Instagram, my TikTok, I don't even do TikTok.
I would
Twitter.
Do anything to see you do a TikTok. Yeah.
Facebook, YouTube. I got, you know, definitely check out my YouTube, youtube.com/DJ Vice. You can watch some of my taco episodes, which I'm gonna be back on again.
Electric Taco. Gotcha.
Electric Taco. You could see some of my Life of No Hablo, where I'm the Mexican that doesn't know any Spanish. You probably know more Spanish than me, JD, growing up in the
It's just not true.
You said
It's semi-true. It's semi-true.
You said Languengua. We were trying to say lengua. You kind of fumbled that one. But,
I probably have now been exiled by the Latin community because
if any taco you need to try, I want you to try that one. It's the lengua. It's the tongue of a cow.
I mean, it's here. It's on your charcuterie board, dude. I get to eat it. You don't. All right, everybody rate. Yeah. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
At DJ Vice, man. That's it, man. Make sure everybody, supports the pod right here and spread the word and like and rate and subscribe and hurry up because it might turn into an OnlyFans with JD.
Dang, I didn't even need to do anything else, bro. Hit the music one time. Let's go. You did it. You did it. I didn't even need the outro. DJ Vice, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. Day one, my guy.
Always.
You already know what it is.